Good evening, everybody. This is Michael Reeves and Dennis Crowley, and we are getting set to watch an autumn wind playoff game. Actually, this is the AFC Championship game, and tonight we will be watching the Oakland Raiders, coached by Tim Bollier, who finished 11-5 this year, going up against Claude Turcotte and his Montreal Alouettes, and they finished 12-4. They were the number 1 seed in the AFC. I believe Oakland was the number 3 seed. So we're just about underway here. Actually, we're just a couple of plays in. Let me set up the game board, and we'll get cracking.
Both of these coaches are previous champions. I think Claude's won 2 autumn wind championships, and Tim's won at least 1 that I remember.
Is that true? Yeah. Yeah.
I wish they had. I wish they had they used to have it on the old website.
I know
where you could click on them and see how many championships they won.
You know, I talked with Paul today.
Yeah.
Paul Mankiewicz, Los Angeles Chargers head coach and one of the longest tenured members here of this autumn wind. He said that when the company that was hosting the website previously basically bottomed out, it took everything with them, and unfortunately didn't have backup copies of anything. So what we have right now on your friend's page, that's all we have.
Got it.
So he said maybe to connect with Larry Davis, and I just didn't have time to do that today because it would have been nice to see, what the records are like. I mean, he just did so much work on that playoff database and the, all-time records, and it would be nice to see the playoff records and stuff. But I'm glad that you perused that. You could see that both of these two are former champions, so that's great. So Oakland has taken over first possession, and they've already made their way into Montreal territory. Montreal's defense this year, pretty much top 5 in terms of points allowed. Oakland, on the other hand, they do have a pretty solid offense there. They've got Prescott under center. And on the outside, they've got Henry Ruggs and Antonio Brown. So they have 2 guys who can go deep on 5 out of 7, right?
Sorry.
Almost top notch. 41%.
I'm looking on the Wayback Machine to see if I can find the old pages.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
3rd down and 3. Here's a quick look, and unfortunately, that's going to be incomplete. It was -1, but in a look-in pass, that pass is automatically incomplete. So Tim has a choice here on 4th and 3 at the 45. Let's see if he plays it conservative and tries to pin Montreal deep. Or they go for it here at pretty much close to midfield. They're going to be aggressive going for it here on 4th and 3.
Tim's got a good, strong running back and a very good quarterback in Dak Prescott. I guess he figures he needs to be aggressive in this one.
Looks like it. He's going to look for a Hawkinson and a white die 5. That would have been good pretty much anywhere, and he does convert. Defender in zone or short gain, and he picks up 12. And so that's a big moment early on in this game as the drive is going to continue. It's now at the Montreal 33. So again, that's Prescott under center. Deonta Foreman here in that 2 tight end set with TJ Hawkinson on one side. He's going to be really happy with his card next year. I'm sure he had a bust-out year. And Dawson Knox, who is that? Is that who that is?
Yep, Dawson Knox.
Dawson Knox.
So just outside of field goal range or a solid field goal range. Henry Ruggs is one of those really great strong cards that just has tons of yardage hits on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a weapon that we have to watch out for. Tim wants to get Claude to call run at some point and be hitting him short or long. But look at that. Look at all those long gains on the card.
Wow. Yeah, look at that. What a weapon.
What a weapon for the Penal Colony League in Las Vegas.
Exactly. Yeah, he's going to have to find replacements for both of his wideouts, isn't he?
That's a good point.
But we're not talking about next year. It's all about tonight. Off tackle run. He's going to run 3 running backs out there. This is Coleman. Guessed right. Good call by Montreal. No
What is that
gain.
guessed
It'll
wrong?
set up 3rd and 10.
We'll shift that over. What is that guessed wrong?
Oh, sorry. Sure.
Just no. Can you just move it from right to wrong on the?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sorry.
Just curious. +9. Yeah, big call there.
Yeah, I forget to do that. You're right. Yep.
That's just my little thing. I'd like to see what would happen if you're going to get the coach guessing the other way.
Oh, believe me, during games, I do it a lot. If only. I think Pinion is his kicker. I may be wrong. I should know because he kicked the field goal against my club that knocked me out of the playoffs in the last play of the game. So
I'm being lazy. Let me load up the game on my machine so I can do some stuff like this. Whenever you need something, I'll look it up.
Sure, thank you. So 3rd and 10, Montreal is going to come out in a 3-3-5. He has a couple
Back to
of
what you mentioned earlier. Montreal was the number 1 seed, and Oakland was the number 3 seed.
Thank you. Slant pass looking for Knox.
I think that's a blank. Can't quite see it.
It's a blank. I moved it with my finger by accident. You're right. It is a blank. And I was wrong. It's Chris Boswell.
He wants to get the adjustment to get it inside 32. And it's up and good.
50-yarder. All right, let's see if we get our first game freeze here.
We're good. We're good.
Looking good so far. All right, so we're going to see a interesting running attack here. That's Darrell Williams. I don't even think he was on a roster this year. Former Kansas City Chief. He also has Boston. Go ahead.
He's got short gains on 6 and 8. Guessed wrong. So it may not be a household name, but it's a good card.
Absolutely. Boston Scott and also Clyde Edwards-Zelaire is on this club too. So we'll see 3 running backs.
It's Hilaire and not a Z. It's an H.
Hilaire.
That's
hilarious.
Set you up for that one. I love it.
That's it. Boom. And there's Williams' first carry. But if there's a dreaded 5, there's also a dreaded 10 on defense when you get that blocking back reading. I call
that the bailout 10.
The bail 10. I like that. I've got dreaded 5 as my handle. Maybe you should think about bailout 10.
I'll stick
or
with
maybe
this.
Not.
You like to get a 5 though.
So Tannehill under center. Let's talk about their last game. They handled Carolina in the divisional playoff. And while we were looking at the statistics, we noticed this is a great position here for Oakland. Playing behind the sticks, Tannehill does not have a good short pass guessed right card at all. And a lot of quarterbacks don't, but his is particularly bad. But interestingly, he threw 16 touchdowns this year and also 17 interceptions. That looks like a 70s quarterback or a 60s quarterback. That is not modern day NFL at all.
That's the rule set, though. That's the rule set.
That's absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So Oakland has a 6 out there on Amari Cooper and only a 4 on Robinson. Going to be bringing the heat. He's going to throw deep, and that's on the D card. Defender X, and the defender is able to make the play.
No, that was an interception split, Mike.
It was an interception split. Oh, you're right.
2
Sorry.
through 5, 11, and 12, but it landed on the 6.
So used to that 7 being a defender reading.
Well, it was a long pass. That's why. Not a 7's always an interception split on the D card. On a short pass, it's defender X. But
all right, so Oakland holds serve on their first drive, and they're going to have pretty decent field position here at the 35. They're already up 3-0. So now we're going to see another running back. That's Darrell Henderson.
Nice double team there by Claude. Would have been a receiver reading.
So Claude Turcotte, 12-4, defeated Carolina to play here in the AFC Championship. Oakland has had 2 wins, and both of them have occurred in the last minute of both their games. They beat the Los Angeles Rams on the last play of the game on a field goal, and they beat – who was the other team that they beat?
Who's that?
Oakland. I
Oakland
forgot who they
defeated
beat on the way here.
the Giants.
Giants,
Yeah,
that's right. Their division rival, New York Giants, and Joe Golden. Touchdown pass from Prescott to Thielen in the last minute of the game. And ironically, it was kind of a similar position in last year's playoff. I actually went back and listened to the playoff. Almost the same yard line, almost the same clock scenario. And in that situation, they threw an interception to end the game. It was a pass to Thielen. So what comes around goes around.
I think you're thinking of the Steamer and the Browns, right? Or I'm looking at the wrong one here. So Steamer and the Eagles. That was the Thielen pass. The Raiders won 26-23, and theirs was a 19-yard pass from Dak Prescott.
Antonio Brown? Was it Antonio Brown he hit?
No, Dawson Knox.
It was Dawson Knox. Yeah, you're right. No, that's true. Now, oh, you're right. I've got it totally confused. Last year's game with the Steamer ended that way. Yeah, I got things all totally tangled up.
I'm here from the Department of Corrections. Oh my goodness, it's an 85-yard punt return. That's going to go to the house. I think he might get tackled at the 1. I didn't see where he caught it. I think it's a touchdown. Oh, he is.
It is.
Stopped at the 1.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my stars and garters. That's a nice setup for Montreal.
Absolutely. Is that Chester Rogers, I believe?
Holy poutine. He's knocking on the door.
Viva Quebec. All right. So there is Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams in the backfield. Tannehill under center. Quarterback sneak. Stopped. Second down and goal at the 1. So we have our first big bust-out play.
These playoff games often come down to turnovers and big plays.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one. Let's see if he goes back to Tannehill.
Off tackle run, doesn't pick it up.
That's a great card there. It's got good guessed right numbers on the edges and the guessed wrong numbers on 6 and 8. Just make it a consistent first down getter. Now 3rd and goal at the 1. Let's see what he can come up with next.
How'd you do tonight against Arizona?
I had a bunch of injuries, but still managed to hang on for the win. Kurt's a good coach. His team's like, after all my injuries, my team looked a lot like his.
Oh my goodness gracious! 3 stops, no gain. This one again, Darrell Williams is stopped short. Montreal doesn't even think twice. Definitely going for it here. So you can't stop me 4 times.
They're thinking the 4th time is a charm. Let's see what they can do this time. I tell you, if he would have stuck with that Tannehill sneak every time, he would have been in the end zone already.
He would have. 7 would have gotten him a yard.
And 6 the last couple times. So let's see what happens here.
Wonder if Tim will key him here. Quarterback sneak, Tannehill. This time he picks it up. There you go. Wouldn't have mattered if he keyed him or not.
Yeah, or if he would have ran any of them backs. So takes advantage of that fantastic field position. You can't ask for anything better than to get it at the 1.
Come on, even I could score from the 1, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
I'd push you from behind, Michael, and see if you can get you.
Pick me up and throw me over the line. All right, so that's a bit of a game breaker. So Oakland now has their 3rd possession. They scored a field goal on their 1st and on their 2nd. They punted to Montreal, and Chester Rogers took it all the way back to the 1 and subsequently scored a touchdown. It wasn't easy. It took him 4 plays, but Tannehill over the middle has made the score 7-3. So here's Oakland's 3rd possession. There's an off-tackle run, a pickup of 6, 2nd down and 4. Tevin Coleman. I'm not sure he's in the league. The shelf life of a running back. Oakland's here in this 2 tight end set, which they've had pretty much throughout the first quarter. I've watched all of their playoff games, and this is their basic set. So let's see if Oakland's going to continue to pick on. You got 4s across that linebacker set. Let's see if he continues to use that flat pass. Really impressive performance defensively from Claude this year in his Montreal Alouettes. It's not like a dominating defense. There's all sorts of 4s here on the field. He does have a 6 free safety, so that kind of makes it nice. Has a 5 corner there on Ruggs and a 5 on Dawson Knox. There's a quick slant. That's going to be a complete pass. Defense guessed run, and that's going to be good for a first down. And that was to Hawkinson. That's his second catch. Prescott's 5 of 11 so far. Off tackle run. Defense guesses run. Excuse me, defense guesses pass. That was a pickup of 4, second down and 6. That was Henderson's first carry. And yet another running back who played for the Rams for most of the season, but he was dumped before the end of the season. Crossing pattern pass, defense guesses pass. And that's going to be completed for a first down. That was to Antonio Brown, and that's his first reception. Pickup of 11. That was on his card. Receiver reading. I kind of moved it over. Actually, the receiver reading was on a 10 on the D card. And so for the second time in 3 drives, Oakland has made their way into Montreal territory. Their lone score was a 50-yard field goal on their first possession. Here's a run play. Dreaded 5 comes up. That's a stop right at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10. So we've already seen 3 running backs now for Oakland. Tevin Coleman, Deonta Foreman, and Henderson. And there's a pass that is intercepted. Goes into that flat pass zone on that split 2 through 5. And Montreal's got a big return, but now the ball is fumbled. Now let's see who comes up with it. And Oakland catches a monster break. Monster break there. Oakland will take over possession on the 25. So Al-Shahir with the interception, but then he coughs it up, and Oakland will take over actually at the 35-yard line. So no harm, no foul. Inside run for Henderson. Defense guesses pass. Left tackle unable to make the block. No gain. So, wow. Already trailing 7-3 on the heels of a lengthy Chester Rogers punt. He almost gave them excellent field position on 2 consecutive possessions here. And if it seems like Oakland has had the ball for the entire first quarter, it's because they have had the ball for the entire first quarter. Montreal has not had much time with the pigskin. They have the shortest scoring drive in recorded NFL history of 1 whole yard after that punt return. Pass across the middle, 6-yard gain, 3rd and 4. So Prescott, 7 of 14. Sigh of relief there for the Oakland coach, Tim Bollier. This game could have gone sideways really quickly, and Montreal is very stingy defensively. Do not give up a lot of points. just over 2 touchdowns a game, among the best in autumn wind. So 3rd and 4 on what could be the last play of the first quarter. Raiders trailing 7-3 in this AFC Championship later on. A few hours away, actually, 10 o'clock Eastern, we'll be watching Shreveport, the number 6 seed, take on the number 2 seed New Orleans Saints in the NFC Conference Finals. Here's a curl pass to Ruggs, and it's an interception split, and it's incomplete. So going to short to Ruggs with 3 men in the zone, falls to the turf, and Oakland's going to have to give this one back up and hope that Chester Rogers doesn't run wild here. So he'll punt it straight away. He is. Punt's going to be fielded at the 10, and this one's a little bit kinder and gentler, a 16-yard return. And Montreal will take over now here in the second quarter, up 7-3. This is their 3rd possession. Their first drive really went nowhere, and their second drive was a 1-yard touchdown run on 4 plays, basically, after a long Chester Rogers punt return. And they now have the ball at the 27. There's a nice pickup. Defender X, or short gain. It's caught, and it's the max gain of 20 yards. Ball moves out to the 46, first down. Ryan Tannehill has only thrown the ball twice. That was his first completion. That went to Amari Cooper. Good for 20 yards and a first down. Cooper over there is defended by a 6. Linebacker in zone can't make the play. And so that is a pickup of 6 on that pass from Tannehill to Darrell Williams out of the backfield. So Cooper is defended by a 6. Allen Robinson is guarded by a 4. That's tight end Dan Arnold. He's stuck by a 4, and the free safety also is a 4. There is a run, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's on the D card. Linebacker was in the zone, able to make the play. Loss of 1, 3rd and 5. So Edwards-Helaire, that's the 3rd running back that we've now seen. Darrell Williams. Oh, we haven't seen Boston Scott yet. Bo Scott, the Eagles reserve. He has a nice card. He'll be in at some time, probably in the second half. Maybe he's preserving carries. 3rd and 5. Just outside the 50s on the 49-yard line of the Raiders. And there is a sack. And that's the first sack of the game. And that's going to force Montreal to kick this one away. This is Montreal's second punt of the contest. They are up 7-3 here over the Raiders in the AFC Conference Championship for Autumn Wind. For the 2022-23 season, they'll take on the winner of the New Orleans Saints and Shreveport conference title later on this evening. So Oakland's going to take over deep in their own territory, ball at the 8-yard line, trailing 7-3. So Oakland's doing a great job defensively. Montreal has not been able to do much with the 2 possessions they've had in their own territory. Problem is they had to deal with a punt return that traveled all the way to the Oakland 1. And it took them 4 plays to bang it in, but they now trail 7-3. There's a complete pass. White dice 6 reading. And Prescott has completed his 8th throw. That went to Antonio Brown. And so now they have a little bit of breathing room here with the ball at the 18. Slant pass to Hawkinson, and now we see the first sack for the Alouettes, and that's a big one. That's a loss of 8. And it's now 2nd down and 18. That's Harris, so I assume that was Shelby Harris. So they're well behind the sticks on this second down. There's a pitch out to Henderson. He's able to pick up a few, give him 3. And so now it's 3rd and 15. So kind of danger zone here for Oakland. They turned the ball over once. It was on their last drive. And then Montreal coughed it up, giving the Raiders back the ball at their own 35. Don't want to turn it over here. So let's see how aggressive he's going to be. Defense 3-3-5, as now we see a third wide receiver check in. For the Raiders, that's Harris. Prescott is under center, so toss sweep could be in play here. Nope, he's going to look deep for Dawson Knox. The defense was double teaming Ruggs. This is going to be a must run on Prescott's card. He's got a good must run card, but it can't muster up the yards necessary here to get that first down. He needed 15. He gets 7. And so Oakland's going to turn this ball back over to Montreal. That's a decent punt. And after the fair catch, Montreal will take over at their own 32, up 7-0. And there's a flat pass with one man in zone. And the defender is able to make the play on that white die 4, so that's a loss of 2. Boy, you hate to waste a 2 on a roll like that. On those running back cards, usually the 2 gives you a pretty sweet reading. But he'll burn his 2 early here on a flat pass and lose yards on it to boot. 2nd down and 12. And there's a pitch out. Guessed wrong, short gain, 15 yards. And that's more than enough for a first down. And that was Boston Scott. So Bo Scott now 2 carries, 13 yards. Actually, I may have misread that. That could have been a run on Boston Scott's card. Now that I look at it, I saw one man in zone. So there's a run guessed wrong. That's 6 for Williams. Second down and 4. Montreal has made their way into Oakland territory. Edwards-Helaire is in the eye. Here's an inside run. And a run key. And still, Helaire picks up 2 yards on the play. And now it was guessed right. He didn't key the right location. But it was an aggressive call there for Oakland. Either way, he only gets 2 yards. And so now it's 3rd and 2.
Hey, bud. Hey, put it back on the full screen.
Sure. Let this play run through. All right. 4-yard pickup and another first down for Montreal on that pass from Tannehill to Foster Moreau. Yeah, I keep forgetting. Every time you invite people into the studio, it just goes right back to that crazy.
Yeah, I think with most shows, the people are the star of the show. And our shows, it's the Strat-o-matic game that we want to see.
Yeah, that's a good point. That makes sense. I can see why they would default to that. There's an off-tackle run for Darrell Williams. Defense guesses pass. And there's your short gain. Another 15-yard chunk play to Williams. And now Montreal has made their way to the Oakland 28, certainly in field goal range. They're already up 7-3, 5:42 on a running clock here in the second quarter. Another off tackle run for Darrell Williams. Guessed wrong. Nice pickup of 8 yards. Second down and 2.
So what happened in the series that I missed?
Which one? The Oakland series?
Yeah. How did that wind up after the touchdown?
So hold on just 1 second. Off tackle run, pickup of 7. There's you another first down. Yeah, so you missed that one. So Oakland drove into Montreal territory, and Prescott hit an interception split on a flat pass, and their corner ran it back about 25 yards, and then he coughed up the ball and gave Oakland back the ball at 35, and since then they've traded punts.
Got it.
But Montreal's looking really good here now with the ball at the 13. There's an inside run, defense guesses pass, and that's a pickup of 6. You could see that terrific offensive line there with 5s and 6s, only a 4 at tackle. Didn't need to be that strong on the play there. It only needed it was a white die 4, so anything short of a 0 would have gotten him 6 yards. Second down and 4, ball resting at the 7. 3:54 to go, running clock. Montreal up 7-3. Going to try to extend their lead here. Second time they've made their way into the red zone. First was courtesy of a crazy punt return from Chester Rogers, where he took it all the way to the 1. Inside run, defense guesses run. And this time, after a 6-yard gain, they're right back at the 1-yard line. Edwards-Helaire, pronounce that name for me, Dennis. Edwards-Helaire. 14 yards now on 4 carries.
You got it. You got it, Michael. It's all
Clyde.
you're professional. You can tell.
Clyde. Right turn, Clyde. That's it.
Clyde for Claude.
Clyde Crash Cup. Quarterback sneak. Wow, great call there. And they key him, and he loses not 1, not 2, but 3. I'm not sure how a quarterback sneak can lose 3 yards in real life, but he did here. Maybe he got scared and ran backward. So second down and 4. The bad news is the clock's going to keep rolling. Now we're at 2:42. So Oakland may consider using their timeouts here. Off tackle run, defense guesses run again. Pickup of 1, and so now it's 3rd and 3. So Darrell Williams has been a workhorse. 8 carries for 35 yards here in the first half. So this play will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Huge play here for Oakland. If they can hold them to 3, they'll only be down a touchdown. Montreal will get the kick to start the third quarter. Big call here for Montreal. They're in the full house backfield. Off tackle run for Edwards-Helaire, and he is stopped at the 1. So now it's 4th and 1, and we've made our way to the 2-minute warning. And let's see what Claude's going to do here. No hesitation. He's going to go for it. So 4th and 1. He's been here before. He scored on a 4th and 1, and that led to their lone touchdown on a Ryan Tannehill plunge. So let's see if he's going to call that number again. Is Oakland just going to call a straight-up run here and just take his chances with a bad roll, or is he going to try to key on someone? Last time it didn't matter because it was on the D card and the center was able to make the block. He has that terrific line, so anything that's going to come down to an offensive line reading probably means he's going to score. Here's that off-tackle run to Williams. Defense guesses run. And there you go. He makes it into the end zone for a touchdown. Offensive tackle. Offensive onside ed, actually, 2 or -2.
You got to like Claude's decisiveness there.
Yes, you
know,
do.
he could have said, "Oh, I'll just take a field goal," but with that line and those runners, he was able to push it in.
Could have been very easy to do that. Absolutely. Just to take the 3 and head into the end zone. Head into the halftime, potentially up a touchdown. Plus, he was going to get the ball here to start the third quarter. So Oakland now trailing by 11 with 1:45 to go, but they do have some some burners here on the outside. As Dennis mentioned earlier, Ruggs' card guessed wrong. Plenty of long gain opportunities, but you can't imagine him, Montreal, calling run here. And there is the second sack of the game for Montreal. And that's Harris. Again, I think that's Shelby Harris. So that's a loss of 6. And Oakland is not going to call timeout here. So 2nd down and 16 with the ball at the 19. And there is a pitch to Henderson. Understandably guessed wrong. He gets 7 of it back. Now let's see if Montreal is going to think about calling timeout here. They do not. And Oakland just basically lines up. They're not even in hurry up at this point. So makes sense. The result of this play is going to determine who's going to call timeout if it's not an incomplete pass. If it's a first down, Oakland most definitely will call timeout. So 3rd and 9. Again, Prescott does have a really nice must-run card. So there's some possibilities here. Oh, and a 3rd sack of the game. So Montreal is putting plenty of heat on Prescott, and that is Harris's 3rd sack of the game. Now, Montreal will call timeout here, so they'll get the ball with 45 seconds to go. So early on, I think we have our MVP of this contest in Shelby Harris. There's a nice return. That's Amani Rogers. That's Amari. Is that Amari or Amani? That is Amari Rogers. That's the Green Bay Packer. I did not know that. So he had a long gain 12, and that would be on the Oakland's card. So he's the beneficiary of that long run. I would have thought that was Chester Rogers. There's a run that is guessed wrong, dreaded 5. And he makes his way out of bounds. No, he did not. And Montreal is not going to call timeout here. They still have 2 timeouts remaining. So basically they have 3 plays to finish off the half. They're already up by 14-3. Let's see how aggressive they will be with a weak Ryan Tannehill card. They're going to stay in their straight-up base I. And Oakland's going to counter with a 3-3-5. There's a run up the middle to Scott. He's going to pick up some huge yards there with the boxcars in play. And so now Montreal will call timeout. And this will knock down the clock to 8. So they definitely have 2 plays left here with the timeout. And the ball resting at the 34. So they're on the cusp of field goal range after that 20-yard pickup on the D card. And so let's see what Montreal has left here that could put them potentially in better field goal range, or do they take a shot deep and then just try to kick a 51-yard field goal? Off tackle run to Darrell Williams. Oh, it's on the boundary, but not much of a pickup there. Only 3, but that'll put him in a little bit better shape for a field goal. As we're looking at a 48-yard attempt from Prater, and he puts it through. So with very little time left in the first half, Montreal is going to tack on 3 and extend that halftime lead to 17-3.
Can you hear me, Michael?
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Doing good. Good job in the first half.
Hey, thank
You
you.
and Dennis.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Dennis is in and out of the broadcast, but I'm sure he'll be popping in here in just a little bit. We'll take a look at the box score here real quick. The first thing I want to do is make sure that I have this right. It is. Okay, so there is your star of the game right there. We're going to start with the defensive stats here. Shelby Harris for Montreal with 3 sacks in this contest. And if you want to look at your other MVP, let's look at Amari Rogers. Look at that now. 3 punt returns for 117 yards, including a massive 85-yard punt return that finished at the 1-yard line. Tannehill was able to turn that into a score. As far as the stats we know and love, Dak Prescott, 8 of 16, no touchdowns. He does have 1 interception, but fortunately for his club, the interceptor fumbled the ball at the 35, and no harm, no foul. I think it was Al-Shahir, the corner for Montreal, fumbled the ball, gave the ball back. Tannehill has only had to throw the ball 5 times. He's completed 4, so nothing really to look at there. Oakland can't get their running game going. 14 yards on 4 carries for Henderson. Kevin Coleman, 3 carries for 6 yards. On the other side, Darrell Williams, 10 runs for 39 yards, and he has a score. Tannehill has the other touchdown. Edwards-Helaire, nothing really to look at there. So again, this has been basically dominated by Montreal's defense. No surprise, they're allowing just over 2 touchdowns a game. And special teams play. Big return, 85 yards for Amari Rogers. And again, it's funny, early on, it seemed like Dallas had the ball like literally forever. But now you look at the time of possession, and it's basically 15 minutes to 14 minutes. So it's pretty much on top of each other. So unfortunately for Oakland, not only are they trailing 17-3, but they're going to have to give Montreal the ball here to begin the third quarter, and it looks like it's getting ready to get underway. So let's see if Oakland can turn things around. It's going to be imperative that they stop them, I believe, on this drive. I don't think they can afford to go down 3 scores to a club that only allows 16 points a game. So I think they're going to lead a little bit of magic here, maybe a turnover. And if there's anybody who can turn the ball over, it's Ryan Tannehill, who had 17 interceptions this year. So this game certainly isn't over, but Oakland's going to have to come correct here in this second half. And it's going to be kind of rough against a team that is built on ball control. Again, that great offensive line that you see. Montreal has the ability to hold drives on for 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes at a time and certainly take the air out of the ball. So Oakland could potentially have limited possessions here. So they've got to try to do the best they can to get them off the field as quickly as possible. There's a pass from Ryan Tannehill, complete 7 yards. Looking for Allen Robinson. And that's his second catch of the game. He only has 5 yards. There's an inside run. Defense guesses pass. And the dreaded 5 rears its ugly head for the 3rd time in this contest. And Clyde Crash Cup, Edwards-Helaire, no gain. So now it's 3rd and 3. So here's a big opportunity for Oakland to get this club off the field. Edwards-Helaire is back in there. There's a button hook pass to Edwards-Helaire. Defense guessed run. White die 6, 0 man in the zone. That's good for a first down. 13 yards to be specific. And so move the chains. That was they keyed Edwards-Helaire and they threw to him instead. So you don't get help there. You feel kind of helpless. You feel like you stopped him, but you didn't stop him through the air. Ball now resting on the 48. Just underway here in the 3rd quarter. The number 1 seed, Montreal Alouettes, up 17-3 over the Oakland Raiders. Oakland's coached by Tim Bollier. They were the number 3 seed in the AFC. Montreal, coached by Claude Turcotte. Both of these clubs have won Autumn League titles. Montreal played last season in the Autumn Wind Championship, losing to the Philadelphia Eagles. After that first play that lost a yard, second down, and as you can see, not a very scary card there for Ryan Tannehill. Lots of gaps and a pretty high interception split. So Oakland kind of has them right where they want them here. 3rd down and 11. With the ball at the 47. Now they have the 3-2-6, which automatically means a run call here is going to be guessed wrong. Now let's see if he moves up one of those safeties there into the look-in pass zone. So Montreal isn't tempted to run an off tackle, actually would be, I guess, a linebacker draw to Williams with the boxcar in play. He does, and he's bringing a lot of people here. Inside run to Williams. Guessed wrong. Well, look at that. The dreaded 5, second time on this drive. No gain. And so Oakland, mission accomplished for the Raiders here. 4th and 11. Montreal is going to kick this one away. And Oakland's going to get a possession here with just over 11 in the 3rd quarter, trailing by 2 touchdowns. 2-2 Atwell, the Los Angeles Ram, is going to let this one drop. And it kicks up right there on the green. And stops right there at the 8. So again, Oakland with, this has been a theme. Oakland's field position today has not been great. This is another possession in which they've had inside their own 20-yard line. All right, here's the pass looking for TJ Hawkinson. And that's about the best you could hope for there. White die 6, 0 man in zone, and the max receiving yards, 20 yards for Hawkinson, who I believe has been, yeah, that's his 3rd target now. 3 catches for 40 yards for Hawkinson, who had a spectacular season. Was traded from the Lions this year, and so he's going to be very, very pleased with that receiver card next season. But he's going to have some work to do. Ruggs isn't coming back, that's for sure. And Antonio Brown will not have a card next year, so he'll have to make some moves to shore up his receiver core. Pick up a 4 on that run. It's now 2nd and 6. That was Deonta Foreman, only his 2nd carry. Probably going to see more of him here now in the 3rd quarter. He's preserved carries as he's used Henderson a bunch and Tevin Coleman as well. So maybe we will see more of Deonta, who has a very nice card. Trailing 17-3. Off tackle run. Short gain, pick up of 14. So Foreman has come in and made an impact there. That's 3 carries for 18 yards for the Oakland Raiders, who have been the cardiac kids of this autumn wind playoff bracket. 2 wins inside of 1 minute in the wild card round and the divisional playoff. A game-winning field goal on the last play of the game toppled the Raiders, and a touchdown pass with less than a minute to go toppled the Giants. I believe it was to TJ Hawkinson. No, it was Dawson Knox. It was actually Dawson Knox. I remember that now because he threw to a guy who was defended by a 6. On that must run on Prescott's card, ball is now at the 47-yard line of Montreal as Oakland again has made their way into Alouette territory, 2nd down and 3. It's a nice guessed right card there for Prescott, especially with those must runs on 4 and 5. And his must run card isn't bad. It's not bad. Off tackle run, defense guesses run. Nice call, and they plug the zone on top of that. So great call from Montreal as they haul down Foreman in the backfield, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. And it's now 3rd and 5. On Oakland's first drive, in a position that was eerily similar to this, they went for it on 4th and 4, and one wonders if Oakland would do the same thing if they're stopped here on 3rd down. 2 tight end set. Now we see Henderson is checked into the game. Henderson has a good receiver card. I also believe he's got some chances if you throw to him deep. He's guarded by a 4. Square out pass looking for Ruggs, and Ruggs hauls it in, and they're going to move the chain, so the drive is going to continue after that 7-yard reception for Henry Ruggs, who's been quiet this game. 2 catches for 14 yards. Prescott now 10 of 18 for 104 yards. Been pretty conservative so far. We really haven't seen a lot of deep throws in this game. There's another pass looking for Ruggs, and it's over the middle, and it's incomplete. Another flat pass. Defender -4, -2, but look-in passes with minus readings are automatically incomplete, so that's actually a break for Oakland. 2nd down and 10. Probably out of field goal range here. 59-yarder is not very appealing, so this is a very important 1st down for Oakland here, but they are down 2 touchdowns. They're not thinking field goal. Easier said than done against one of the stingiest defenses in autumn wind. Crossing pattern pass looking for Antonio Brown, and for the 4th time in the game, Prescott is sacked, and for the first time in the game, it's a sack that had nothing to do with a guy named Harris. This is more like it. This is Matt Judon. And that's a huge loss on the play. It's now 3rd down and 22. A 12-yard sack. And that is definitely a drive changer here for Oakland, who is trailing already 17-3. So a monster play for Judon. Again, the 4th sack of the game for Montreal. And things are looking pretty bleak here for the Raiders. Looks like they're going to have to turn this ball back over after successfully stopping the Alouettes. So barring calamity, at least for Montreal's sake, unless we see a big gain here, Oakland's going to have to give this ball back. 3 wide receivers set. That's Deontay Harris, who's checked into the game. So there's a quick pass to Henderson. He's only going to pick up 7. And that'll bring up 4th down to 47. Oakland's going to go ahead and punt this one away and try to pin the Alouettes deep. It's not a great kick. And it's going to go out of bounds at the 19. So Montreal will take over. 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter, up 17-3. The winner will take on the NFC Conference finalists, and that game is also taking place tonight, where the New Orleans Saints will be hosting the Shreveport Steamer. That's coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 Pacific. There's a pass that goes nowhere. In fact, it goes backwards. 3-yard loss for Williams. And 2nd down and 13. Oakland certainly not out of it here. Lots and lots of time, but they just have not been able to get their motor running here against a very strong defensive club in Montreal. Off tackle run, defense gets his pass. Just missed that short gain, but he does get 4. A couple of short gains you can see there for Boston Scott on 6 and 7. But he gets neither, and so now it's 3rd and 9, and you put Tannehill again in the situation that he does not thrive. 3 wide set now. That's Paris Campbell from the Colts who's checked into the game. Looking for Amari Cooper, and it is caught. And Cooper's going to go for some big yards here as he picks up 36 on the play. And so Montreal has made their way into Oakland territory. So a big conversion there. It was on the receiver card. I missed just a second of that animation, but I noticed there was a double team. I wonder if that was on Cooper. It looked like it. I'm sorry, I missed it just before the snap took place, but I think they were double teaming Cooper because it was a receiver reading, so I guess it didn't matter. He must have been double teaming him with a linebacker. I don't think he was double teaming Paris. Anyway, 2nd down and 10 after that run goes nowhere. Right tackle able to make the play. 2nd down and 10. Onyemata, the New Orleans Saint. Pretty stout up front there with those 2 5s. They do have that 0 at left linebacker. That's Phillips from Miami. Has had 2 key sacks here, one in the wild card game and one in the divisional game. That really, he's been an impact player here so far. Pretty quiet today. There's a conservative call, a flat pass. That's a nice pickup, though. 0-man in zone. 16-yard reception. So again, Montreal has moved the chains. This time the ball's now resting at the 28, and they are in field goal range, looking for the opportunity to extend a lead that already is at 2 touchdowns, 17-3. So Oakland could use something here, a fumble, a big sack, something that's not going to knock them out of field goal range. They're really going to have a difficult time mounting a comeback down 3 scores. A field goal here would be super, super huge. Off tackle run, defense guesses pass, pick up a 4. There was a linebacker there, but he was unable to make the play. C.J. Mosley on the stop. That's his 10th tackle of the contest. 2nd down and 6. Ball at the 24. And there's a run, and there is another 1st down. So a 6-yard carry there for Scott. He has 6 carries now for 43 yards. And Montreal has the ball at the Oakland 18. Minute 30 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Quick out. Pick up a 4. 2nd down and 6. Tannehill, 10 of 12 for 101 yards. So an efficient outing here for Tannehill. That was Dan Arnold's first catch, 4 yards on the play. Scott is checked back in. Second and 6, off tackle run. Defense moves everybody up in that short yardage formation, and Scott is stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1. And it brings up 3rd and 7 as we are making our way to the closing seconds of the 3rd quarter in this AFC championship game here in Autumn Wind 22-23 season. Montreal, the number 1 seed, up 17-3 over the number 3 seed Oakland Raiders, and looking to extend that lead. Certainly in field goal range and can turn this into a 3-score contest. Sideline pass, defense guesses pass. Receiver makes the play, pick up a 5. It's now 4th and 2. And that pass was completed to Robinson. No hesitation. Montreal's going to kick this one through. So they've now pushed that lead to 20-3. If you're just joining us, Oakland broke out on top with a field goal to take the lead 3-0. Both teams exchanged possessions. And Amari Rogers put together the biggest play of this game so far with an 85-yard punt return all the way to the Oakland 1. Oakland did a great job and stayed stout for 3 players, but Tannehill finally got that touchdown run, a 1-yard plunge to give them a 7-3 lead, and they have not looked back. Pick up a 4, 2nd down and 6. That was a quick run for Darrell Henderson. Plenty of short gains on that card. 5 of 18 so far in this contest. There's another run for Henderson. He's going to get 7. And the Raiders have a 1st down. A lot of work to do here. Trailing 20-3. 13:30 to go here in the 4th quarter of this AFC title game. The winner will face off against New Orleans or Shreveport. And there we see a deep shot. I think that's one of the first ones we've seen all game. Incomplete pass. Looking for Dawson Knox. Prescott only 11 for 21 for 111 yards. He does have an interception, but Montreal turned the ball right back over as the interceptor, Al Shahir, ran the ball back about 20 yards and then fumbled the ball and gave the ball back to Oakland at the 35. So the turnovers haven't really made a difference, but that punt returner was a real backbreaker. Receiver double team. Knox makes the catch, 10-yard pickup and 1st down, as Oakland is making their way to midfield. Oakland put together not 1 but 2 courageous goal line stands, but Montreal was able to score on both occasions on 4th down. Either one of those scores, both of those scores obviously make a big impact in this game now, but had they been able to stop just one of them, it would have been huge. Prescott on his must-run card is stopped, and he coughs up the ball. Let's see who comes up with it. And Montreal has recovered the fumble. So that is the 2nd turnover of the game for Oakland. And Montreal certainly is in the catbird seat now, already up 20-3 with only 12 minutes to go here in the contest. So this is where Montreal can use that massive offensive line to burn this clock down. Pick up a 5. No linebacker in the zone. Defensive tackle this time reading came up. And Onyemata actually made the play. It was a white die 4, so basically anybody would have made that play, but it had the potential to go 36 yards. Actually, Williams made that tackle, not Onyemata. There's another run. 1 linebacker in the zone this time. Even with that linebacker in the zone, that offensive tackle, 3 or 0, you still get the benefit of that 3. Didn't need to do much, just required a white die 4 reading. He's able to make the play. Now it's 3rd and 2 with the ball at the 38. There's a run up the middle. And for the 2nd consecutive play, the rating was depended on the strength of the offensive line. And even with a linebacker in the zone, the center is able to make the block. And Montreal will move the chains. 10-12 to go. For the Alouettes, the ball at the 32. Another inside run. Defense guesses run. Defense guesses pass, Pick up a 4. Edwards-Helaire, 11th carry. 3-headed monster here. Darrell Williams, Boston Scott and Edwards-Hilaire. Off tackle run, dreaded 5, guessed right, loss of 1, 3rd and 7. Certainly in field goal range here. From here, it'd be a 46-yarder for the potential to extend this lead to 3 scores, basically. They can go up by 20 here. If they choose to kick, they may not. Third and 7. They're bringing on that third wide receiver, so all of those run ratings go down by 1. And there's a run for Darrell Williams. Haven't called his name for a while. And again, the offensive guard is able to make the play. White die 4. The guard is a 5, knocked down by 1 on that run. He's still able to make the block and extend this drive now to the 22 as time keeps ticking away. 8:24 to go. As Montreal is looking like they are going to punch their ticket to the Autumn Wind Championship. Back-to-back appearances for the Alouettes if they can close it down here with 7.5 to go, up by 17, with the potential to extend this lead. Off tackle, pickup of 2 on the running back card. Now Oakland's basically just selling out for the run. That was a short yardage defense. Now 3rd and 8, 37-yard field goal from here. 7:12 to go here in the 4th quarter. New Orleans hosting Shreveport tonight in the NFC title matchup. And then we will know who will be in the Autumn Wind Super Bowl. The inside run, defense guesses pass there. But the white die reading comes up with that 3 wide receiver set. And that kick goes flying off to the left. So a little bit of life here for Oakland. As Prater misses from 36 yards out. So 3 wide set here for Oakland. And no surprise, they're going to go deep. And this pass is going to be picked off, so Prescott is intercepted for the second time in this game. A 3rd turnover, in fact, for Prescott. Montreal's going to take this one back, and now they're going to fumble the ball. So could this have happened for the second time in this contest? Is Montreal going to cough this one back up? They do. So Montreal elected to return that interception, and they've given the ball back to Oakland with pretty decent field position here at the 42. Don't see that often. 2 interceptions, and both of them fumbled back to the opposition. There's another bomb. Interception split. Incomplete. 5:42 to go. Oakland just launching bombs at this point. Who could blame them? Trailing by 3 scores, 20-3. Oakland scored the first 3 points of this game on their first possession, in fact, and just have not been able to get things settled here. There's a quick pass over the middle, pickup of 10, and there's a first down. That's Henderson, actually, out of the backfield, catches that one. And they've made their way into Montreal territory as we're just over 5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Montreal 5 minutes away from back-to-back conference championships and another opportunity to win an Autumn Wind title. Looking deep for Antonio Brown, and Prescott's going to run once again. He picks up 6. Second down and 4. That's Prescott's 3rd carry, all on must runs. He also has a fumble. That's something you don't see every day. Dallas has turned the ball over 3 times, and Montreal didn't score on any of them. Technically, if you think about it, they threw 2 interceptions, and they got the ball right back on interception returns. And then Dak Prescott's fumble here just a few minutes ago didn't lead to anything. Basically, a missed field goal from Matt Prater. I guess you could say by the same token that, well, I guess we don't know that for sure. Montreal's turned the ball over twice. Oakland has not been able to capitalize, but they have the ball now as the result of a turnover. Here it is, 3rd and 4, 4 minutes to go. Inside run, defense gets his pass. Pick up a 5. That'll move the chains, but the clock is really draining now. 3:35 to go. 3:36 on a running clock. Have to imagine now we got to see some deep shots here. Oh, wow. Just missed a long gain. On Ruggs, 3 men in the zone. Turn that 2 into a 3, and Ruggs may have been able to break that. But instead, it's incomplete. Quiet day for Henry Ruggs. 2 carries for 14 yards. Defender X for 13. White die 6. Defender cannot make the play. And another first down for Oakland. Wow. 4 men in the zone there. Had there been 3 men in the zone, it would have been a long gain. So that's 2 consecutive plays that Ruggs was had the possibility of a game breaker. Instead, he'll settle for a first down. Ball to 24 now. 2:42 to go as we're in the final stages here of Montreal's opportunity to punch another ticket to the Autumn Wind Championship. Looking deep for their running back, Henderson. It was the right idea, but he was defended by a 4. White die was 4, so I guess it probably wouldn't have mattered after all. 3rd down and 10. Doing the right thing here, going for the end zone, trying to get a score here before the 2-minute warning. And there's another deep shot. This one, they're looking for Deontay Harris. This one's going to fall incomplete. Now let's see if Oakland chooses to kick the field goal here. They will, and try to keep this game to 2 scores. Oh, mercy sakes. Are you kidding me? Wow. So that field goal goes awry. Chris Boswell misses. And now with 2 minutes left to go, and Montreal up 20-3. Viva Quebec. They are celebrating in the province of Quebec. Jubilance in the streets tonight in Montreal. Oakland will call timeout here. Minute 52 to go.
Michael, you going to call the game later tonight with New Orleans and Shreveport?
Well, I plan on calling it, yeah. But I definitely would love to have you come back.
Well, so I want you to know if we had problems with the microphone. a couple of days ago. I wonder if you can hear me okay with the mic.
It's really coming through jumbled. Do you think you can use that other microphone that you'd shared with me?
That's what I'm using. So that's what I'm using the other microphone. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh, okay.
So I put that.
Let me hear you call these. You watching the game? Call these last few plays.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how it would go. So with 37, this is no longer a contest here, really. Fourth now. Montreal, it looks like you said, second time in a row they're going to the Super Bowl here. It was a pretty impressive victory over Oakland here because Oakland got off a great start this season, and Tim Bollier is a great coach, and he just didn't have anything going today. And Claude just dominated with his Alouettes. Minute 30 to play, Oakland out of timeouts, and really out of options. How's it coming through, Michael?
It's still a little jumbled. It's still sounding a little jumbled, but it's better than it was the other day. Way better.
Okay. So your audio today was a little bit distorted too. When Dennis came on, Dennis was fine, although his volume was down. So there are some technical issues. If we do this last game, it doesn't sound right. If we do the game tonight, Mike, it doesn't sound right, I'll just drop out of it, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll just play it by ear and see what it sounds like.
You can play this back and see the replay, how it sounds before we start. But
yeah,
it's like 2 hours.
It's going to be posted. Right? Yeah, it'll be posted to YouTube. So we'll both take a listen to it and see how it sounds. So
yeah, it's fun if it's two of us doing it, but if it's
oh yeah, no doubt.
Really, I don't want the technical issues last time really sounded terrible. And like you said, let's see in the post-game show if Claude can hear me this time, okay?
Okay.
You think Claude can come on?
Do what now? What was the last thing you said?
Do you think Claude's going to come on after the show?
I don't know. I'm going to put out an invitation to both here.
Yeah, let's just see if I want you to tell me how my audio is. I think that would be good. You think?
Hold on just one second. Let me see. Okay, that was an old message. I saw where
I was asking you, Michael, if we go on the post-game show. If we go on the post-game show, I'm asking you, Michael, that'll be a pretty good test, don't you think?
I would hope that they would join us. I'm going to send a note to them and see if they both will.
You know what
Congratulations, Claude and Tim! Exclamation mark. I'm going to hold the broadcast open for a little while, so if either of you want to join, could you please send a message and I will invite you? Question mark. Thanks! Exclamation mark. Okay, I just sent invitations to both of them, so we'll see if either one of them join it.
You're hearing me. I want to know if you think if we go on the post-game show, it would be a good test for my audio setup with the mic.
Yeah, I heard you that time. Yeah, I think it'd be worth a shot. I agree. Let's see if
okay, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
If it's not any good, we'll just it'll tell us that maybe the broadcast tonight wouldn't work. So I just want to make sure that we get all the technical issues ironed out.
Absolutely. Well, we'll wait to see if either one of them are going to join us here, but we'll review the box score here for a little while, and then if neither one of us join us, we'll just wrap things up.
Am I coming clear now, Michael?
It's really jumbled. It's coming through like super fast and just really jumbled.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's, I just wonder if maybe it's the version of StreamYard that I've got, because I know some people have like that advanced one where they subscribe, and I'm starting to wonder if it's me. But the problem is when I hear Dennis, his comes through pretty clear. So I don't know if he's using a different version that I am. I honestly don't know, and I hate that you're using a new microphone. But it's starting off like kind of abruptly, and then I can hear you a bunch. And then it tails off and it like kind of
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
I'm testing
well,
my mic now. Can you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Well, while we're waiting, if
Mike, can you hear me?
Claude and Tim
Oh,
are
can you
going to
hear me?
join us, we'll look at the box score here real quick. So, like we'd mentioned, Oklahoma, golly,
Mike,
Oakland did
can
score.
you hear? Michael,
Yes,
can you hear me?
yes,
Can you hear me, Mike?
yes.
Okay.
Um, Boswell started off the game with a 50-yard field goal, but after that, it
Go ahead
was
with the scores.
all Montreal with Ryan Tannehill scoring on a 1-yard TD run, Darrell Williams scoring on a 1-yard TD run. And on both of those occasions, actually the first one, the Tannehill first touchdown run was set up by an 85-yard punt return by Amari Rodgers that after Tannehill ran it in on fourth down, 3 straight stops for Oakland, but on fourth down, they finally push it in. Tannehill on a 1-yard run, and that gave Montreal a 7-3 lead, and it's a lead that they would not relinquish. Later on in that second quarter, kind of the same scenario, Darrell Williams on a 1-yard run on fourth down. Oakland able to stop them inside the 10 on 3 plays, but they finally gave it up on that final play, and that gave Montreal a 14-3 lead. They were able to actually sneak in a late field goal as time expired. Matt Prater, 48-yard field goal. They gave them a halftime lead, 17-3. In the third and fourth quarter, both clubs basically exchanged possessions. Not really much happening. Prater topped on a 27-yard field goal that extended the lead 20-3. Later missed a field goal that could have extended it even further. But that's basically where we settled. If you look at like the big plays of the game, you see a lot of quarterback sacks there, and 3 of them from the defensive MVP, Shelby Harris. Some big drive stoppers there from Shelby Harris and a huge quarterback sack. Oakland was trailing 17-3 and had driven to midfield in the third quarter, but after a 12-yard Judon sack, that put second down at 22 yards, and they were not able to recover after that. Look at the stats here. Quarterback stats, 14 for 35 for Dak Prescott. Those numbers obviously don't look great, but toward the end, he basically had to throw for the end zone, so it's understandable that his completion percentage would be so low. Only 4 yards per attempt. Probably, I would have to imagine if we talked to Tim, probably one of the worst games that he played. Ryan Tannehill didn't have to do much, 11 of 13, an efficient 11 of 13 for 106 yards. He did not throw a touchdown. Oakland could not get their running game going at all. 6 carries for 25 yards for Henderson. He was the leader. Deonta Foreman, 5 carries for 21 yards. Darrell Williams was the leading rusher for Montreal, but not great numbers there. You look at the per carry average for the 3-headed monster that is Darrell Williams, Bo Scott, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Similar numbers to their initial playoff game against Carolina. As you can see, their top 3 running backs with 37 carries, and Tannehill with a few additional carries himself, so 40-plus carries. So no surprise, that's how this team operates. Nothing really fancy statistically. Offensively, Amari Cooper did lead all receivers with 72 yards, including a 36-yard pass reception. I believe he also had a 20-yard reception on a white dice 6 max gain. We'll look here at the bottom again. 3 sacks, huge story there. 5 sacks total, 3 sacks for Shelby Harris. And the interceptions, we'll take a look at that here. So that was Azeez Al-Shahir and Kevin Byard for Houston. Both of them had, ironically, both of them 22-yard receptions, and both of them fumbled the ball back to Oakland, but it didn't really matter as Oakland only was able to put up 3 points. We also see here in the box score, Amari Rodgers, 3 punt returns for 117 yards, including the 85-yard game breaker that led to the Ryan Tannehill 1-yard TD score that gave Montreal the lead at 7-3, in which they never relinquished. So we're going to go to the studio to see if anybody's going to join us. It doesn't appear that it is, and I think we're going to sign off on our broadcast here. We'll take a look and see if they're still talking. So the users have dropped. We'll go into the studio one more time.
You know,
And
your audio is really shocked.
Can
during
you
this
say that again? I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
Can you hear me, Michael?
Yes, I can. I can't. I couldn't hear what you said there. You said my audio was really what?
Chopped. It was chopped itself during this podcast.
Wow, that's interesting.
You might
I'm
want
going to have to
listen to the yourself, especially near the do that last summary that it was really. You might want to listen back to the recording on it and see if you're hearing the same thing.
Yeah, we've got about an hour between the games, so I'm going to listen to this last one, and I may set up my microphone, change my microphone setup as well. I'll probably have to change it here, so I'll definitely take a look at that. But we'll go ahead and close this one down. I'll play around with the settings here just a little bit. Come back and join us here, Duke, at this last one here at 10 o'clock, and we'll try to figure things out. But in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and close out this broadcast. But we don't want to take away from Montreal's fantastic performance. So congratulations to you, Claude Turcotte. You have punched 2 consecutive tickets to Autumn Wind Finals and a dominating performance here in the AFC Championship with a 20-3 win over a game Oakland Raiders club, the Cardiac Kids of our Autumn Wind playoffs here. But their run comes to an end at 11 wins and 5 in the regular season. So that would give them 13-6 to close out the season. Claude will move on. He was 12-4 in the regular season. He now is 14-4, and we will await the final contest tonight in the NFC Championship, and that will include the New Orleans Saints going up against the Shreveport Steamers. So for Duke Szymanski, this is Michael Reeves signing off. We'll see you later on this evening. Everybody, God bless. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you soon.